Hey guys, welcome back. If it looks like I'm going to a goth pool party, that's because I got a wild hair up my butt and decided at 7:30 at night to try to do a midnight photo shoot. And I don't know if the look's gonna work, but let's just go with it. So, welcome. We are going to do some shower makeup because it is Saturday night and I have nowhere to go. I am completely single and have no life. So, I decided to test out some new stuff. We haven't gotten to do that in a while. So, first step, well, not quite first, but let me introduce what's going on first. You know how I have been mixing my custom foundation for a while now? I've been mixing the Maybelline Superstay 30-hour Lumi Matte Foundation in the shade 110 and 115. Basically, ever since I lost my summer tan, there has not been a shade that matches, and so I've kind of been mixing them myself and just kind of hoping that I get a similar shade every single time. There's no real measuring, so I just kind of try to fix it with a little bit of setting powder or a little bit of bronzer, whatever, and just kind of hope for the best. But Maybelline, quietly, at least I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it, released a new foundation. And when they did so, they released a new shade. So this is the Maybelline Lifter Plump and Glow foundation. And today we are going to try the shade 113. So that is why I'm coming to you looking a mess. My skin, you guys, I'm having the worst time with my skin. Look, we are transparent here on the channel, right? I am honest with you guys. You are with me through the ups and downs. We don't filter. We turn off the little beauty thing that it tries to turn on automatically on TikTok. You know, I will let you know if, I've adjusted something on a photo for maybe a modeling thing that I'm doing, whatever. We know that this is a disability channel. We know that I am 44 years old. This is not nice, cute, 20-something influencer skin. This is real skin. You guys, I've been fighting this outbreak on my neck. This pimple has been coming up and restarting for like a month now. I don't know what's going on with it. So my skin, my poor skin, has been really upset. And honestly, it's been like this since I used that setting spray. And that was, what, 2 weeks ago now? 3 weeks ago? Something like that. So hopefully this will cover all my skin sins. So let's go in with a primer. That scared me. I dropped one of the, I was holding it by the lid. I dropped one of the foundations and they're in glass bottles. Maybelline, can we get, I don't know, something that's not going to break and kill me because I am disabled in my handshake. So I think to give this a fair shot, let's go in with the same primer that I used to kind of stain my skin the last time. So we're going to go in with the JOA Blurring Matte Primer. This is one of those primers that goes on and it feels almost powdery. It kind of zaps up all of that oil on your skin. And I'm going to give a decent amount. I grabbed the nearly empty one, but we're going to go in, give this foundation its best chance to work hopefully its magic. And this goes out kind of like a tan color, but it goes on, kind of works in clear. So again, we're giving this foundation its best shot. So we're not altering the color with this foundation or anything, or excuse me, this primer or anything. That's another thing with this channel. Most influencers, right, would go out and edit that out. They'd restart, but I'm not going to do that. If we make a mistake here, we keep it in because that's who I am, right? Mental mistakes like that. Sometimes I go through and I think that I've nailed a take, right? I'm like, yeah, I said exactly everything I wanted to say and it came out wonderful, right? Now I'm just going to apply I'll get back to that thought, hopefully, primer to my face because I do want to kind of see how it does in places without primer. So we're going to do the primer just on my face, but we're going to see how it reacts like down here on my neck as well. But getting back to my thought there, I'll go and I'll edit the film and I'll be like, I'm sorry, what was that word I just said? Or did I ever finish that thought? Or I'll stumble over words and I'm like, I learned that word in like kindergarten. What is going on here? And the thing is, I won't have realized that I said that or did that while I'm filming. And sometimes when I was filming that, I'm sorry, this just feels really nice on the skin, so I'm giving it a little extra time. But when I was filming that ADHD, autism, borderline personality disorder video, I realized that I said the exact opposite of what I wanted to say. And I didn't catch it at all until I was editing. And I was like, oops. So I had to do a voiceover. And I'm like, hi, editing Sabrina here. Ever say something enthusiastically and mean the exact opposite of what you wanted to say? All right, so let's go in. And I literally, you guys, I waited to open this until you were with me. It's still sealed. So let's get in. It's got a nice little pump. So we're just going to go right in. Hey, before we do that, now you guys know I'm obsessed with my sponges, my expanding they're not rubber, I don't think, but little expanding rubber-like bouncy sponges. But we all know and love Manny, right? Manny, MUA. He did a Dollar Tree haul and he said that these brushes were really good, especially this, like, one of these is the cat paw one. We'll open them and see. They are brushes from Sassy Chic. And I don't really love going in with foundation brushes, but he said they were really great. And for $1.25, yeah, so this is the cat paw brush. And I also got a blush brush. So I thought we would try those out today. Yeah, they're really soft, but like really dense. So we're going to go ahead and use this one for the foundation. So let's give this a try. I mean, it looks promising. Let's go ahead. We'll just dot a little bit here on my jawline. Did I get any? I mean, I can barely see it here in person. Can you guys see it on camera? Wow, that's, I don't think I'm gonna find a better match in a drugstore makeup. Let's see how the formula is. I'm not a person that wants to waste things, so I think I'll probably still mix until I run out of the ones I have. I do think I have some fully unopened, at least one unopened bottle of the Lumi Matte, so I will donate that to the source. But okay, let's go in with the brush and see what we think both of the formula and the brush. Like I said, I haven't been a foundation brush girl in the past, but maybe I'll be won over. So I didn't actually look into all of the claims on this yet, but I will take a snapshot and I'll put it up somewhere here. Wait, something popped up on the camera and I didn't, what does that say? Storage low, tap to manage. Shoot. I will be back with you all in a minute. Sorry. My goodness, sorry about that. Thankfully I was able to just get rid of 36 gigs of video. Sorry, excuse me, I am out of breath because I was just sitting over the table trying to get that done. I had like 25 gigs in the trash already. I just hadn't deleted them. And I really hope I didn't delete the intro of this video. I don't think I did, but the camera wasn't running when I just clicked it back on. But we shall see. If I did, hi, we are doing shower makeup and testing out a new foundation and new brush. This is the Maybelline Lifter Plump and Glow Foundation in shade 113. And I was just telling everybody that I am going to put the information up on screen. If I didn't erase it, well, you just got a quick run through. All right. I'm not loving how much foundation is getting actually in the brush, but it also may have dried while I was doing that. So that's all right. I do like that it's getting into the little nooks and crannies like around my nose that I usually have a hard time getting and end up like just filling with concealer. So I do like that. It is nicer around my mouth and I'm not getting it up in my hairline as much. So there's that. I have seen people that pump the foundation directly onto the brush. So I guess I could try that, but let's just see where we are. And then I know people do still bounce a sponge over where they've gone on because you can't completely get rid of brush lines. But so far, I'm not mad at the brush or this foundation. As I'm putting on more, the match is still pretty good. I mean, no foundation is going to match somebody perfectly. We all have variations in tone on our skin naturally. You know, in general, there are, you know, thousands of skin tones out in the world, and a makeup line, a good launch will have, you know, maybe 40 tones, but you know, they do the best they can. All right, so let's see what happens over here on this Mega Zit. We're just going to go right in. I'm going to turn off my fan over here for a second and see what we can do. We're just going to go right in on him. You know what? I'm not mad at that. And I was worried that when I got directly on my neck that the match would be too obvious, you know what I mean? But I'm just using what's left on my brush and I'm not seeing any major, you know, obvious lines or anything. And we'll tie in my ear. Probably going to need a little bit. There's a little bit more here. Tie in my other ear. Get down here. I am not mad at this at all. I don't really tell. As far as how it feels on my skin, I don't see much difference. As far as finish, it's not as, well, I would say it's much more skin-like. There's not as much of a glow from within as you might get with the Lumi Matte, as, you know, the name would suggest. You're not getting that luminous lip from within. And you know what? I just keep going over it with this brush and I'm waiting for it to start lifting off. You know how that might happen as you get drying layers of foundation. I'm trying to see like if it can build up or if it lifts off. But honestly, and I'm not looking up in my, let me look in my little mirror here. This is incredibly skin-like. I can see the difference, obviously, when you look up really close, but this is a really good match for me. Sorry, YouTube. I want to see what happens when I build it up. Now, like I said, I might go take some photos and then immediately go wash this off. So I am going to play with it a little bit and just, you know, see what happens as I test out a new foundation here. But so far, like, these are my trouble areas. If it's going to lift off and give me problems, it's going to be right here around my nose and on my chin. You guys, I'm already obsessed with this foundation. It's stunning. No notes at all. It's perfect. Okay, so if we're going to go in, let's go all in on this concealer. So, or excuse me, on this foundation. So I have two very different types of concealer that I want to try out with it, both from NYX. So I've got the NYX Pro Fix Stick Concealer. This is a very thick concealer. And then also their Bear With Me Concealer Serum. So this is a liquid and this is a very thick sort of paste type of concealer. So we're going to go in on this side with the liquid and this side with the stick. And I tend to prefer going in with my fingers. So we're going to do that on both sides. And I don't think I got comparable. Yeah, I don't think the shades are going to match, but that's all right. So we're going in on my right side with the stick concealer. We're just going to go, I think for today, we're just going to go very light into my problem areas and just tap it in with my fingers. And I get something kind of like that. Nothing crazy. Works well, blended in well, no notes. All right. And we will, if I could do it left-handed to compare, I would, but alas, I cannot. So I'm going to go in now with the liquid, and this is a little pump, and a little goes a long way. That's probably too much. If I could take it back, I would. You know what? We'll use it to conceal my little problem areas a little bit more, so that'll be okay. All right, I am going to dab a little bit off so that I don't have quite so much on my finger when I go in here. We'll just do the same. This one is so thin that it practically blends itself out. Oop, see there, I just added a tiny bit more and it was instantly too much, but it blends out very easily. Just like that, and I still have leftovers. Like I said, a little goes a very long way with that one. All right, no notes. All right, so now I do have another product to open up. I've been saving a couple things so I could do it all in one video. I have needed a new loose powder. I don't know if you guys saw a couple videos back, I had a realization that I was low on pretty much all of my powders. So if you are into makeup, you do a lot of makeup, you're going to collect a lot of different kinds of powders. Sorry, I have like a cat hair right up in my nose. You're going to get your loose setting powder, your baked setting powder, your clear one, your colored ones, the one that matches your skin tone. I was going to see a brown one, but that's not quite it. So this one is the CoverGirl Clean and Invisible Loose Setting Powder. This is the shade 105 Translucent Fair, and this is just going to set all of the liquid and cream products on my face, and hopefully I won't make a massive mess, although it's even bets that I will. Comes with a cute little puff that I will not be using. Do the first little, and instant mess. It's all right. And I know some people are really into finding their perfect, expensive, you know, blurring, blah, blah, blah. For me, I went with the cheapest one I could find because this is just the setting step that nobody sees. All right. This is setting the face because normally I'm going to go out and sweat. This is making sure my base doesn't fall off my face. This is not the blurring under eye. This is not the final set. This is the one nobody sees. So this is not your Huda versus, honestly, Huda has the best one out there, but this is just me setting it as I would if I was going to go out and go run errands or whatever. And I'm just going to go in, like I said, I'm not using the powder puff. I'm just putting some in the lid, getting it onto my biggest fluffy brush, tapping it off into the lid so that I kind of sift it. And then I'm just, still got a lot on there, setting. And I know I'm kind of like leaning over. I don't want it up on my outfit. And I'm just setting the liquids and creams that are on my base right now. And the goal is that this is close enough in shade that it's essentially invisible. That's the name. And usually when I come onto camera, this step is already done. And I will kind of go back and forth between a setting spray or a setting powder, and sometimes both, depending on what the day holds for me. I just want a base for everything else to sit on. Like that. Is it a... Oh. I would have just kept turning it forever. Okay. Now, brows. I'm going to do this real quick, and then I will be back. Halfway point, so you guys can see the difference. All right. And ignore any redness you might see. I had to do some quick blocking. So, and like I said, when I come on camera, this is generally the state of doneness that I am at, because usually foundation, concealer, eyebrows, setting, not the most interesting part of a makeup routine, but this next part is. So let's get into it. What shall we do with the eyes? I thought something kind of vampy, so I got out the NYX Wednesday collab. I love the little animation thing that's going on here. And then I also got out the Twilight one. So what shall we do? Let's prep our lids. I love this little one. I use it for everything. It's just so handy. So let's do a little eyelid prep. And I went ahead and took this one all the way up to knock out some of that redness. All right, so I'm thinking of doing something very neutral with just a puff of plumminess. So I may need one more palette. Let's look. Do we have anything plum? Yes. All right. We're grabbing the villains. So let's build a neutral base. I saw a nice neutral in here. So let's grab a medium fluffy. Something like this will do. Going into the NYX palette, and we will go into this base here. I think we'll go all over the lid with this one. The best thing about shower makeup is you can literally just play. Because, yeah, you can take some pictures, but at the end, just get to wash it all off. There's no one to judge. There's, you know, nothing important to go to. There's no deadlines. Nobody there to impress. I mean, I got you guys, but you guys don't judge me. We're family. So I'm just literally throwing this over my entire lid and all the way into the crease. Just fluffing that into the whole area. Why? I don't know yet. It's just a pretty color. And I feel like it's going to give me a nice base for anything I want to do. And repeat it on the other side. All right. I think now what I want to do is take the plum color from the Disney Villains palette and deepen the crease with it. And I want to take a gentle hand to start, because I think this is going to be very pigmented. Yeah. Not that that's a bad thing. I think, though, I'm not going to take it all the way in. I think I want to stop about 3/4 of the way and just kind of do not quite a little Pac-Man, but like 3/4 of the way in the top and maybe like 1/4 of the way underneath. What shape would that be? I have no idea. Some sort of weird L? I don't know. We're playing, you guys. We can make up our own rules. I don't know how it looks, how it's picking up on camera. But can you guys see that? I think you can see that. Just getting that pigment in there, and then I'm going to blend it out with a different brush, I think. Let's take, not you. You still have pigment. I'm going to take this nice fluffy brush here, and I'm just going to blend it out. No pigment on it. I didn't dip it into anything. I'm just using it to diffuse. And same on the bottom. I'm kind of rounding it out up above my crease. Just kind of filling out that space that's left in the socket. Just diffusing it out to the top of my, to the underside of my brow bone. See, there's that clarity thing. Do you guys want to get real for a minute? Let's get real while I blend this out. Again, no pigment. This is just spreading what was left in the socket that I deposited there. That's the word I was looking for. So let's get real. I have this thing called a Medicare advocate. I'd never heard of one before, but I saw a Facebook ad and it's free. So his name is Steven and he's a really nice guy. He's an older guy. I'm going to repeat this on the other side, both steps. And I'm going to talk to you guys through it. So I don't know why I told you that, but let's go do it. So he is an older guy and he's been in the nursing profession for like 20 years. And basically he's like, well, he's an advocate. He is there to kind of help me with things that are related to my care, right? So when we met, and this is like phone calls and video calls, right? He's in another state that's like 2 hours ahead of me. So he like goes over my medications and he has my medical history, my doctors, my upcoming appointments, things like that. And in one of the calls, like the second call, I was having a really hard time. It was like kind of later in the day. And I think I was just like really stressed about something. And I was having a really hard time remembering a lot of things. Like I was just stumbling over words, worse than what I'm doing right now. Worse than you guys have probably seen in videos because I don't film when I'm having particularly bad days, right? I only film when I'm in a good mood, when I have things to do, when it's like really fun, right? So I was having a particularly hard time. And the next time we talked, I was doing a lot better for no particular reason. I think it was because I'd been out kind of late the night before. I'd had a lot of caffeine and I think I was just, you know, kind of bubbly, right? And he kind of asked me, and of course he was like, you know, don't be offended. Just, you know, he's had a lot of clients in, you know, 20 years of nursing that, you know, aren't quite as angelic as I am, right? And he said, you know, are you taking your medications correctly? And of course, the question behind that he didn't ask was, are you abusing your medication? And I've had a couple weeks to kind of, you know, get over how that made me feel. Of course, I understood that we'd only talked 3 times at this point. He didn't know me. I am on medications that people could abuse, right? And that's not me. You guys have known me for what, going on 2 years at this point? And I think you know by now that's not my character. You know, I try to advocate for the disabled community as much as I can because I'm part of you, right? And I would never, ever, like ever want anybody to do that. And it's not something I do, obviously. And I was really offended at first. You know, it was something that I cried about a lot just because it was like, I felt like he was questioning my character. And of course, like the idea that I would, you know, get high or like, I don't know, purposely mismanage my meds in a way that would mess with my brain, my mental clarity, just do anything bad, like anything that would hurt me. I've got some rogue hairs here. Just the idea of that just kind of, it hurt me more than it offended me just because I worked so hard to be respected, you know, and gosh, this one just doesn't want to go. And I realized, you know, of course he wants what's best for me and he can't do that if I'm not honest with him. And if I'm, you know, doing things that are dangerous or that could hurt me, like, of course he needs to know because that's, you know, that could be really dangerous. And, you know, if he's going to be advocating for me with my doctors and contacting them and, you know, doing these kinds of things, he needs to know because I could hurt myself. Right. And he's especially a good fit for me because he has done time as a psychiatric nurse, right? And one of the things that he wants to work with me on is maybe changing some of the combinations of meds that I have or changing maybe the times, this eyebrow's angering me, maybe the times of day that I take them or like changing a dose of something to better work with something else. Because I'm on a lot of meds. You guys have seen sometimes I'll take a dose on camera if the time of day that I'm filming requires it, you know, something like that. There, that looks nicer, doesn't it? If the time of day requires me to take a dose or whatever. But, you know, maybe it would be better if I took one med at a different time so that it doesn't interact with another medication to kind of fog up my brain a lot. And that's the thing. I've always kind of just chalked it up to fibro fog because that is a real thing. And of course I do have fibromyalgia and I'm on a very high dose of gabapentin. And I just kind of thought that was normal. You know, if nobody ever tells you that something is wrong, you don't know what's wrong. And I'm not necessarily saying that what I'm on is wrong, but if you don't know that you're on a really high dose, you just kind of assume it's a normal dose, right? And if you don't know that the dose you're on could potentially have interactions with a med from another doctor because nobody's told you, well, so one of the things he wants to do is review my meds to make sure that they're not interacting negatively with another medication from another doctor, things like that. Because I am on a large amount of sedatives. I am on medications that could be abused. Like I said, I am on a narcotic. I am on medications like Ativan for It's a PRN. It's like an as needed emergency kind of med, but I do know that it's one of those medications that people do abuse for like recreational use, I guess. So anyway, let's get back to the makeup. I told you we'd get real for a minute. Help me decide. There's a couple of options. I want to do like a bronzy shimmer to kind of go with the outfit. So we've got this one. That's kind of cute. This one, this very pale one. But remember, we're going to be putting it over the neck kind of brown one we have. This one. These shimmers in this palette are so soft and buttery. That one's cute. And then we've got these really warm ones, which might even be better. Got this gold. That's sort of white. It's like peachy gold. What do we think? You know what? I want to see what the subtle one from the Twilight palette looks like over something. So let's clean up. Let's go in with that one. We're experimenting, right? I'm hoping the weather holds. So one of the reasons it's so late today is I kept thinking that there was going to be a thunderstorm. It was supposed to be last night and then all of today, and then they kept pushing the time back and back. So I kept like waiting to see what was going to happen. Now it's not supposed to hit till after midnight. And I'm like, finally, like, I'm just going to do it. And if it happens, and then I kind of had this thought of maybe like doing kind of a swimsuit, wet, rain kind of makeup and wet kind of shoot idea. I don't know. Anyway, if it turns out, you'll see photos. If it doesn't, you won't. Let's put it that way. Anyway, let's go for this subtle one and see what it looks like over what we've got. Let's really load it up on the finger. I think we won't have a lot of second chances with this one. So we're just going to go right over the top. Oh, guys, can you see that? YouTube, can you see that? I'm just going to close my eye entirely. That's stunning. Yes, that is exactly, yes. Oops, 1 second. It is 10:45. I love that. That's really pretty. I wonder what it would look like if I got a little brush like this and tried to do it under the lower lash line. We shall see. Incredibly subtle. But since I started it, I'm going to finish it. This look needs liner, don't you think? Let's see what we got. This one jumped out at me. So let's see if my hand is steady today or not. Actually, let's give me some calories. See if that'll help. Unlikely, but I was thirsty. All right, eyeliner gods. And I think we'll just do a tiny line. We're not going to do like a huge massive wing. We're not going to press our luck, but I think it needs it. So let's brace ourselves. Okay. I'm so sorry. My alarm decided to continue even though I told it to turn off. And that will be copyrighted music, so that will need to be cut out. Let's continue the liner. So far, so good. I just went for a thin, subtle line. Going to do my waterline and I will be back. All right, a little bit of mascara after I curl my lashes. They are slowly growing back in. Okay, now let's, nope, getting too excited, y'all. Let's do some quick, if I can find my contour brush. There we are. And as usual, gone in a flash. I can't even talk through this because it's already gone. I love this contour. It's actually the same brand as the eyeliner we just used. This is Seichu Beauty. It's a East Asian owned brand. I'm East Asian. And it's actually just kind of a little bit more than drugstore, but definitely not luxury brand. So if you haven't checked it out yet, do it. You just saw in real time how fast that contour was. I'm absolutely obsessed. And a lot of you guys might know them for their lip stain. They have like that peel away lip stain, but I'm obsessed with their contour. It's actually cold enough and light enough for somebody of my skin tone to use. So yes. All right, now we can go in with the blush I wanted to use and we can try out the new blush brush we got. So I'm going in with the Disney Villains little blush. We have Cruella on here. So I'm just going to gently load up some blush on the brush and we're going to go in just over that contour. Looks like I can get a little bit more. There we go. All right. I don't think there's that much that can be said about a blush brush. It's just blush. But I do like the shape of it. It's a little bit different than like it's a little denser and it's definitely softer. I don't know. It is nice. And I mean, like I said at the beginning, this is from the Dollar Tree. So $1.25, not bad. All right. And then since the idea was like a at night, possibly getting wet, we've got to go with a ton of highlighter. Like it's a requirement. So we're just going to top this off literally everywhere. And this is of course the Mega Glow highlighter from Wet n Wild in the shade Blossom Glow. You guys can see just how blinding this is. I'm obsessed with it. All right. Now for the finale, we have a new lip pencil. This is from Ioni. It's another Dollar Tree find, but Ioni is one of those that is actually like having their own moment right now. They're best known for their fake eyelashes. I do have a pair of Ioni lashes, which I will use in a video at some point, not tonight. But yeah, this is a shade that I do not have in my collection. It's having its own moment. This is a plum liner. So let's go ahead and give it a try. This is why I did the plum. You see, I had an idea. I've been seeing a color combination that I don't know if it'll work on me, but we'll try it. And then if it doesn't work, we'll fix it and do something else. But it's almost like it looks kind of like just a lip liner and then a clear gloss because the pink that they use is almost the same like tone as their lips. So it kind of, I don't know if you guys have seen it. The one I've seen the most is like the Glam Light Brat Stall lip combo. I'll put a picture of it. And it's just so pretty on the model. And I don't know if it'll work on me, but I thought since I found the shade we could try it. Like I said, I don't have this color at all in my collection. And when I found it, I just had to, do it. And again, $1.25. So why wouldn't I try it? So let's check it out. Wow. Super creamy. It's a really fine point. So let me give it its best shot. I've been super stressed lately. I don't know if you guys can see, I went back to my old ways and I really pulled up my lips and they do have some sore spots. So if you see some unevenness, that's not the product. That's me. Okay, let's go in. All right, so that's what we've got. I tried to do a little bit of lip contour on the sides, but anyway, still not the best at this. I can't tell if I can, like, if this twists up or if I'm supposed to be able to sharpen it or if that's the only amount of product I get, but I will figure it out. Anyway, that's what we got. And like I said, in the photos I've seen of like the lip combos I liked, they kind of matched like the pinkiness of their lips. And then there was a gloss. So the best I could, this is not coming off very well. So that's a good sign. I kind of thought this was kind of like the pinkiness. Anyway, let's try it. And they didn't really blend into the line a lot, except like I said in the corners where, ooh, they kind of contoured. So I'm going to leave the line unblended. I'm going to fix where I just got a little bit on myself there. Let the lipstick dry a little bit. And then I do have clear gloss, which I'm going to use a fresh applicator with, because I don't want to ruin my clear gloss. All right, should be close to dry enough. What do we think? Is that flattering on me? I think maybe if I fix the little sides a bit. Well, I think just here it got a little too thin because I don't really have, see here it's fine, but this side's a little thin. I don't know if you guys can see it there, YouTube, but I'm just gonna that up a little bit. Well, I'm going to touch up the edges with concealer, I think, in a little bit. But I think we're going to call this the final look. So let's set, actually, it's going to bug me. So I am going to touch up with just a little bit of concealer. I think I'll take it on a little cotton bud like this, just a little concealer to fix up the edges because we know I'm not really good with lip liner no matter what I do. And then I will blend that in with a little bit of powder on a brush. So once I get it to this point, I'm going to get a little bit of loose powder onto something like this. Didn't know this was going to be a lesson on touching up, did you? Never know what you're going to get with me. Full of surprises. The larger brush, you're just going to go throw us out. And there you have it. All right, now we're going to set it with our NYX marshmallow spray. NYX, just sponsor me at this point. Oh, goodness. Okay, we'll bring the hair down. Damn, I look kind of hot. I'm feeling myself tonight. Gotta have confidence. I don't know. For 44, gotta give it to me, right? I don't know. Anyway, that's going to be it for me tonight. So until the next one, stay safe, be kind to yourself. I love you. And I will absolutely see you in the next one. Bye.